What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cosmic Wonder. Right now, so much is happening with Spider-Man Brand New Day. They are wrapping up filming outside in the public pretty soon, so unfortunately, we're not going to be getting a ton of set photos, if any at all, once they go inside a studio and start filming there. But in the meantime, we have a ton of new Spider-Man Brand New Day photos and videos, and I'm not sure if Spider-Man has ever looked so good. This new suit is amazing. But on top of all of this, we do have some new reports and some interesting rumors. And it seems like Sony and Marvel Studios, of course, are approaching the marketing in a very specific and planned out way for Spider-Man Brand New Day. I think they saw what all of the leaks and all of the talk about the other Spider-Man showing up in Spider-Man No Way Home did for the hype of the movie, and they are totally going to take advantage of the same thing, but they're going to plan it out a little bit more this time, I feel. For example, all of these new set photos that we have are coming directly from fans who are simply there watching them film. I'm sure you've seen some of the videos already, but the people of Glasgow can just show up and start filming. It's allowed. It's allowed by Sony. Sony could have closed off more of the area where they were at, Marvel Studios as well, but they chose not to. So we've seen this big chase scene with a huge armored vehicle that reportedly Frank Castle is in, the Punisher, and reportedly he is chasing Scorpion. And we have some new reports about some other villains possibly showing up, but then we have kind of a curveball thrown at us in a new report. This is coming from Daniel RPK, who states that the main villain of Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to be kept a secret by Marvel and Sony during promotion, basically stating that we're not going to know who the main villain is until we actually go and watch the movie. And right away, I just have to say that I do think this is a good idea, because I think they show too much in the trailers. Like with the Fantastic Four First Steps and Galactus, they basically showed us kind of all angles of Galactus, except for basically a direct angle of his face. But besides that, in the TV spots and the trailers, we saw a lot of him. And I think honestly, the first look at him on Earth, the back of his helmet showing us that he really is a person, and maybe the silhouette of his eyes when they're on his ship, that's all they should have shown. Keep the suspense, keep the mystery, but go ahead, let me know what you think about that. With Spider-Man Brand New Day, however, I believe this is going to be a little bit different. Now, for starters, we already know that there are going to be a lot of villains in this movie. Scorpion is already confirmed. Michael Mando has not been shy about that, posting to his Instagram. But again, I believe Sony and Marvel let him, because everything they do has to go through PR. And there's a lot of other villains rumored. We have a new one to talk about today, but sticking with Sony not revealing the main villain for a second, I don't believe they'll reveal the main villain. I believe they'll show us a bunch of different villains in all of the trailers, but they still do plan on us figuring out who the main villain is via leaks. That way, it's pretty much exactly what we got with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man returning. We had all heard the rumors, the reports that Tobey and Andrew were returning as both their Spider-Man in Spider-Man No Way Home. And there were a few times where they kind of even teased that they were going to be in the movie, like Tom Holland saying, "Who else could it be?" Kind of acknowledging, hey, we see all of the rumors about Tobey and Andrew. Well, again, I think they realized how successful that was for them in creating hype for the movie and that mystery, even though most of us pretty much were convinced that Tobey and Andrew were going to be in the film, even if there was a 1% doubt in our minds, that built up a ton of hype and suspense. Are they going to be in the film? I think the same thing's going to go for the villain. I don't know who the main villain is going to be. We've heard rumors it could be AIM, and they're the ones who kind of cause Hulk to Hulk out again. We've heard Viper, Silver Samurai. We've heard a lot of different things. We're unsure at this point in time who the main villain is going to be. But if they're going to keep the main villain a secret, this villain has to be huge. And remember, Sony wanted originally Spider-Man Brand New Day to be bigger than No Way Home. So the villain really does have to be big. It could be the Venom symbiote. Michael Mando has been teasing Venom on his Instagram lately. We're not sure if it means anything, if he's trolling, or if he is hinting at something, like Scorpion getting the Venom symbiote. After all, we do know that the symbiote is there in Earth 616 because of the post-credit scenes for Venom and Spider-Man No Way Home. Or maybe it could even be Doctor Doom. Obviously, Marvel Studios hasn't really built up Doctor Doom that much, and Sony has already allowed Spider-Man movies with Robert Downey Jr. in them. They love the idea of Iron Man showing up. Well, perhaps Marvel and Sony like the idea of Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom showing up to give us a little bit of a build-up to Avengers Doomsday, because that is the next movie coming after Spider-Man Brand New Day. And the suspense of not knowing if the villain is Doom, that would definitely bring people to theaters, but that's just a theory of mine. Not confirmed confirmed in any way. But who do you think should be the villain of Spider-Man Brand New Day? Who would be big enough that Sony and Marvel would want to keep it a secret? Let me know your thoughts. Now, we've been showing the new set photos on screen, but I just got to say this new one right here, this one's amazing. Spider-Man jumping in the air, and it kind of does seem like he's going to have kind of the web wings on his arms in this scene. Maybe they'll CGI them in here, not sure. But regardless, this pose right here is amazing. And the crazy part is this is just somebody taking a photo probably from their phone, and the suit looks amazing without being touched up by any type of CGI or effects. So we already know the movie is going to look amazing because it already does just by fans taking photos from the street. And speaking of which, yesterday a pretty big rumor started going around that Sadie Sink was spotted on set of Spider-Man Brand New Day. So needless to say, this got everyone's attention, and whenever new set photos yesterday would drop, everybody was looking at them, which led us to this photo right here. There is a blonde in this photo. There are actually two blondes in this photo, but one is clearly a worker. The other one, wearing a blue sweatshirt and a skirt, a lot of people were saying that this is Sadie Sink. And the fact that she is blonde probably confirms that she is going to be playing Gwen Stacy. And some people were even saying this looks like perhaps a school outfit, and this looks very Gwen. And she's not dressed like a normal worker, so perhaps this is Sadie Sink as Gwen on the set. However, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that is the case. And 2 points here to mention. One is that Daniel RPK stated this on X today. I have confirmed it was just a crew member, not Sadie Sink. So although it didn't look like a crew member, it looks to be that was indeed the case. She was a crew member. And the second point is that I don't think Sony and Marvel would simply have Sadie Sink's character be revealed by these set photos and videos. We talked about this yesterday in the podcast. Sony is very aware that everybody is taking photos and videos. They are letting them. They want them to do it. And they know that if Sadie Sink went on set, we'd probably figure out what character she is. And I believe that they're going to keep that a secret for as long as possible. There's also the chance that perhaps she is playing a villain of the movie. Maybe the main one that they're going to keep a secret. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I don't think they would just allow her to be out in the open where anybody could take a picture or videos of her. So this makes sense. And as far as another villain that has been reported to be appearing in the movie, it looks like Rhino might be in the film. According to GlasgowWorld.com, and Glasgow is where they're filming right now in Scotland, they state, walking through the set on one of Glasgow's streets that resembles a New York avenue, there was an array of street furniture that completed the look of Franklin Street in Manhattan, with some of the shop fronts given added elements and an abundance of American flags, hot dog stands, a taco truck, and other vehicles. The tank vehicle that had featured prominently in footage of the car chase was being adjusted and fitted with parts. Further along, my wee boy spotted a flatbread trailer that had a mock-up of the top half of the tank. In front of it was another film prop that was covered. The outline looked like the head of an animal. When filming resumed, there was a section where the tank is being pursued by another custom-made vehicle. It had the same shaped prop at the front. It was the shape of a rhino's head. So Rhino might be a villain in Spider-Man Brand New Day. A lot of people are actually saying if they're doing Rhino, perhaps they're doing Kraven. Maybe that's the secret villain, and maybe Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to jump over from the Spider-Man universe to the MCU and be the main villain here. That would certainly be something. I'd actually love to hear everybody's thoughts on that. If Sony did that, if Marvel and Sony teamed up and brought over a character from their Sony universe to the MCU, would you like that or not? Now, they've already done it with Venom, but a lot of people really like the Venom movies. I'm not so sure that's the case for Kraven the Hunter. So a lot of exciting things with Spider-Man Brand New Day. A lot of mystery is going to be surrounding this movie, much like Spider-Man No Way Home. So if you want to keep up to date on all things with Spider-Man Brand New Day and Marvel in general, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Don't forget to like this video, and you can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.